Breaking tonight, all signs point to a dramatic power shift in the UK. It looks like voters will hand Labour a landslide victory, ending 14 years of Conservative rule. We're in London on what's poised to be a historic election night. Mexico braces for Hurricane Beryl as the monster storm churns closer. And how Ozempic is changing what people eat.
It completely eliminated any snacking.
And what snack companies are serving up.
From CBC News, this is The National with Asha Tomlinson.
Thanks for joining us. Adrian is away. A political shockwave is moving through the United Kingdom tonight. An exit poll suggests the centre-left Labour Party is about to pull off a landslide win, and that voters have delivered a resounding rejection to the Conservatives after 14 turbulent years. The vote counting is expected to last well into the early morning, but it appears Keir Starmer will become the next British Prime Minister, and a new political chapter begins. Chris Brown is in London, just outside BBC headquarters. Chris, a remarkable night, it seems, for Keir Starmer.
Well, the Labour Party promised to rebuild Britain and end what it said were 14 years of Conservative chaos. And the exit poll that was released just as the polls closed put the final numbers going to be around 410 for Labour versus 130 for the Conservatives, amounting to a repudiation of Tory rule.
All the pointers tonight are that Sir Keir Starmer is taking Labour back to power.
This is shaping up not just as a win for Labour, but a rout.
The thing that kept coming back to us was that the 14 years the Tories have been in power and the chaos that they've had to tolerate is that they wanted that change.
Starmer, are you ready to become Prime Minister?
Starmer, a former human rights lawyer who later was knighted Sir Keir for heading up Britain's Crown Prosecution Service, found success by moving the Labour Party to the political centre.
A mandate for economic growth.
He ditched extreme policies such as nationalising energy companies and instead promised an infusion of money into healthcare and education. Rishi Sunak was the fifth Prime Minister in 8 years for the scandal-ridden Conservatives.
And we will have a general election.
He called the election early, perhaps hoping to ride a rebounding UK economy, but his campaign was plagued by missteps, including bailing early on the D-Day anniversary commemorations.
On reflection, it was a mistake not to stay longer, and I've apologised for that.
A really serious press conference holding an ice cream.
Sunak also faced a surging threat from the political right, from Nigel Farage and Reform UK, which pushed an anti-immigrant, low-tax platform that ate into Conservative support.
I think the Conservatives need a little bit of time in the wilderness to sort themselves out.
Indeed, after Boris Johnson's many integrity lapses, a budget from Liz Truss that was blamed for crashing the pound and taking Britain out of the EU with few economic benefits to show for it, political veterans didn't seem surprised by what they were seeing.
I think it would have required sort of Superman as leader of the Conservative Party to lead them back to some sort of victory, and Mr. Sunak is not Superman.
And Chris, the vote counting will continue well into tomorrow, but if these results hold, what can we expect next?
Well, look for the results from a number of Conservative cabinet ministers, high-profile ministers, the Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, for example, in tough dogfights to hold on to their seats. Also, just how much of a breakthrough will the Reform Party get? They've already won seats tonight, and that's going to change the dynamics of Britain's Parliament. As for the transition to the new government, that will also happen tomorrow when Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer, in that order, visit the King. And then Starmer will return to Downing Street, and the new Labour era will begin. Asha.
Chris Brown in London, thank you. Turning now to Hurricane Beryl, as it closes in on Mexico tonight. The storm has already left a path of death and destruction across the Caribbean. After pummeling Jamaica, Beryl lost a bit of its destructive force, but it's still on the move and bringing heavy rain and powerful winds with it. Right now, Beryl is speeding toward Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The popular tourist area is expecting landfall in just hours now. Then it could pick up steam over the Gulf of Mexico before moving north. International climate correspondent Susan Ormiston now on how Mexico's beachside destinations are bracing for Beryl.
Boarding up for Beryl in the Yucatan Peninsula. Lineups for gas and a run on canned goods and non-perishable groceries. The hurricane has weakened, but Mexico's popular southern resort areas are still exposed, with forecasts for heavy rain and high water overnight and landfall expected early Friday morning.
The waters are going to start to rise ahead of the landfall because Beryl has generated this very large wave field that's racing out ahead of the hurricane, and those large breaking waves are going to start to reach the coast.
Warnings for Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, airports packed. Already flights canceled.
We're just stranded here. We're trying to see if we find tickets. If not, we'll have to book a hotel. I heard the airport is going to shut down.
Beryl came early and fierce, battering Caribbean islands, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It was a scary experience. Houses, concrete houses just fall to the ground. It was like something just out of the world.
A window into the aftermath shows widespread damage to over 90% of the buildings on 2 islands in Grenada, according to the Prime Minister. In Jamaica, cleaning up after Beryl took a sideswipe at the island. Flooding and power knocked out.
I think most Jamaicans are giving thanks.
But Beryl skirted the capital, passing 70 kilometers south. Most of the airports will reopen Friday. The Prime Minister says the country has worked hard to fortify its infrastructure.
We are building our roads to higher standards, putting in larger drains and culverts. Essentially, we are trying to develop our country from an infrastructure, financial, and national security perspective to be climate-proof.
Beryl has delivered a message. This season, expect more intense storms.
And Susan, it is hurricane season, but this feels different. My cousins in Jamaica said the storms seem to just linger there.
Well, it is different. I mean, remember, Beryl started as a Category 5 storm earlier this week. So that's early in the season. And these warm ocean temperatures that we saw last year are even warmer this year. So the water as warm as it normally is in August now. And we knew the forecast was to be an explosive hurricane season. And maybe this is the start of that. And as the Prime Minister in Jamaica said, it's even more urgent for especially coastal communities to climate-proof their homes.
Most definitely. Susan, thank you.
You're welcome.
Israel says it's resuming ceasefire and hostage negotiations with Hamas.
Israel is reviewing the latest Hamas response to the hostage release framework.
It comes after Hamas changed its demands around a U.S.-backed deal. But so far, there's no relief. Israel's daily bombardment claimed more lives, according to local first responders, this time in Gaza's Old City. And the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah launched 200 rockets into Israel, causing fires and minor damage, calling it retaliation for an Israeli assassination of a top commander. To the Yukon now, and cyanide has been detected in the water near that landslide at a gold mine last week. And as Lindsay Duncombe tells us, that news has a First Nations community demanding action.
Right there is where the failure happened. And
this is the first time Chief Donna Hope has seen the damage at the Eagle gold mine. So troubling, she has a big demand of the Yukon government.
Today we asked for a pause on all mining activity in our traditional territory.
She's especially worried about water. The mine used a cyanide solution to extract gold from ore. And now, the territory says water testing shows elevated levels of cyanide at the mine and at a creek nearby.
This level of cyanide in Haggart Creek could potentially affect fish. Whether this concentration of cyanide in the water will actually affect fish depends on other chemicals in the water.
The government found 0.04 milligrams per liter of cyanide in that sample, exceeding the licensed limit of 0.005 milligrams per liter.
That's certainly in the range where, like, there's a 1982 study out of Concordia that shows that rainbow trout exposed at that levels, we expect half of them to die.
The territory says drinking water samples are safe, but people shouldn't use nearby waterways for recreation.
It doesn't help the community, and it also doesn't help the reputation of the industry.
The mine is owned by Victoria Gold. Just hours before the territory's announcement, it contradicted the government findings, saying corporate testing has not detected any cyanide. It also didn't mention the risk of further slides, something government engineers say is a real danger.
Everybody is very alive to that risk. The company's very alive to that risk.
Watching the briefing, Chief Hope was disappointed.
I just fear that they're not taking this as seriously as we really need to be.
When it comes for the call to halt mining, the minister said the government heard the request and will consider it. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
The daycare company at the center of a major E. coli outbreak in Calgary last year confirms it's dealing with a new case. The Fueling Brains Academy says a 1-year-old has tested positive, and it has closed one of its locations for a deep clean. Officials say there's no evidence the bacteria was spread there. Last fall, 39 children were hospitalized after an E. coli outbreak started in a kitchen that prepared food for the company. The federal government is making tech giants like Meta and Amazon pay up. The multinational companies will face a new digital services tax, but as Ashley Burke explains, it could be your wallet that's hit.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done.
They're tech giants that everyone knows, like Amazon, Uber, Netflix, and Airbnb. Companies based outside the country, making more than $20 million a year from Canadian users, are now being forced to pay up with the government's controversial new tax.
I can't accept Canada permanently being in a discriminated position.
The government quietly enacted the digital services tax last week at a time when the Liberals are down in the polls and under pressure. It's making good on a 2019 campaign promise to bring in billions of dollars in new revenue.
We have such a crying need for investment in so many things in our country, whether it is housing or making life more affordable or investing in productivity and growth.
The U.S. had urged Canada not to move forward. Many of the companies impacted are based in the States. It wanted Canada to wait until countries agreed on a taxation plan together, but Canada's finance minister said that plan is delayed, and other countries, including the UK, Italy, and France, already have this tax. In a statement to CBC News, Amazon said, "We're disappointed by what it called a discriminatory tax that will harm Canadian consumers."
Consumers will bear the burden of that additional tax, as opposed to it necessarily being borne by the actual service providers.
Canada's Chamber of Commerce says it's worried about that too.
Things like seniors getting grocery delivery, getting to and from where you need to be with a rideshare, things like booking a getaway close to home. Those are all, potentially going to get more expensive for Canadians.
Canada's parliamentary budget officer estimates the tax could bring in more than $7 billion over 5 years. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
There is breaking news in Ontario tonight. The union representing the province's liquor store workers says they will walk off the job Friday after contract negotiations broke down. The strike will be the first in the LCBO's history. Workers are demanding wage increases and more full-time jobs. The union also opposes Ontario's plan to allow grocery and convenience stores to sell beer and wine. The province says it's disappointed with the union's decision to walk away from the bargaining table. Families in Quebec are speaking out, upset over the province's new cap on immigration reunification. Spouses overseas might be waiting years longer to join their families. As Alison Northcott shows us, it's forced some to take drastic measures.
And this is the wedding day.
Joanna Rutkowski is eager to build a life with her husband in Quebec once he can move here from Morocco. But she's discouraged by delays in the immigration process for family reunification.
We feel so betrayed. I feel so betrayed by the Canadian and the Quebec government.
People immigrating to Quebec need approval from Ottawa and the province. But last month, Quebec revealed plans to cut the number of applications it will process for family reunifications almost in half, limiting them to 13,000 over the next 2 years.
So you have spouse living inside or spouse living outside.
This immigration lawyer says the wait time in Quebec is already much longer than it is for those in other provinces seeking to sponsor a spouse. The wait outside Quebec is around 10 months. In Quebec, it can take up to 32 months. That's why Quebec's Immigration Lawyers Association is taking the issue to court.
We consider that Quebec has no right to limit the number of applicants that they can accept. What we were hoping for and what we're still hoping for is for the two levels of governments to discuss, to have a conversation about this and to deal with the issue.
La partie réunification familiale doit être limitée.
Premier François Legault says the number of immigrants needs to be limited to ensure the province can meet the needs of all newcomers.
It's almost 2 years from now that we have applied.
Lauriane Lachapelle has been trying to help her husband immigrate from Guatemala.
Right now, families will be stuck in the middle and will have more wait, more insecurities.
Rutkowski is tired of waiting, so she's moving to Poland, where she also has citizenship, and her husband will join her there.
The fact that we have to look for options outside of Canada is just so disappointing.
The federal government says admissions are limited to the number of spaces set by Quebec, but it says it is working to speed up processing for Quebec applicants. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Now to a CBC News investigation and new warnings preying on people trying to visit the U.S. Many non-Canadian citizens require a visa to get across the border, but a backlog means that could take years to get. And as Shayna Luck shows us, that has ads popping up online offering help for a price.
So I check it every day and every time.
Nathan Chen is trying to get an appointment at a U.S. consulate. He's an international student and wants to visit the States, but he needs a visa. Many people are waiting up to 2 years for an appointment. The earliest Chen could find is in 2025.
So you're planning to pay one of these ads today?
Yeah, I want to try it.
The wait times have generated an online industry that claims to help people jump the queue. It's easy to find online advertisers promising to get people faster appointments. That was tempting for Chen.
I want to know what was happened and what it will be if I pay that service.
He invited CBC News to watch the transaction, which cost more than he was expecting at $300 Canadian.
Oh my God.
Once Chen paid the money, he had to hand over his U.S. account information, allowing a third party to rebook him if earlier appointments become available. This is an issue around the world, according to researchers in Germany who've labeled it scalping.
Everywhere, whenever you have a big over-demand for these public services, scalpers find a way to kind of generate profits for it.
But in the past year, the U.S. State Department has heard from people in Canada who did what Chen did and lost their money and their accounts.
That's when we typically hear about it, when the applicant realizes that they no longer have access to their account, that the scammer has changed the password, and so then they're stuck.
When we asked, the advertiser said they've rebooked a few thousand appointments in Canada this year, but they wouldn't reveal more details. Chen found an earlier appointment himself with the help of a friend. And after complaining to the website that hosted the ad, he got his money back. Shayna Luck, CBC News, Halifax.
The popularity of drugs like Ozempic is forcing food giants to grapple with less hungry and less impulsive shoppers.
My desire for food completely changed.
Coming up, how companies like Nestle and Coca-Cola are hoping to cash in on changing appetites. And could the RCMP's Musical Ride be headed for trouble?
It's very unsettling.
What internal auditors revealed about the Canadian cavalry. Plus, employers are turning to temporary foreign workers like never before.
I think this is another example of the overall healthcare workforce crisis.
But critics say there's a better way to solve this country's staffing crunch. We're back in 2. After more than a century of entertaining Canadians, the RCMP's iconic Musical Ride is in trouble. An internal audit shows it's struggling with staffing problems and low morale. And as Catherine Tunney explains, this could threaten the program's future.
It's one of the RCMP's, and arguably one of Canada's most recognizable symbols, the Musical Ride. Mounties in their red uniforms on horseback, performing for crowds. But behind the pageantry, we now know the mood has been more downtrodden. According to an internal RCMP audit, the musical ride doesn't have enough riders and faces a significant threat to its sustainability. Riders are now forced to serve longer than they want, and morale is low.
To know, well, my replacements aren't coming, it's very unsettling. And it could be, a major cause of stress and a lot of hardship on families as well.
The problems flagged in the audit aren't unique to the musical ride. They point to a deeper staffing problem plaguing the RCMP.
The force in some cases is broken when its own members aren't prepared to join one of the most iconic symbols of the force. Well, then why should we support it?
Across Canada, RCMP detachments are grappling with shortages. Vacancy rates are as high as 20% in some parts of the country, and recruitment numbers have dwindled in recent years.
In a rural province like New Brunswick, where the RCMP does the majority of the policing, it makes it very difficult.
According to the audit, RCMP brass say they want to keep the ride as long as possible, in part because it remains their largest public relations vehicle, at a time when the Mounties face increasing challenges and criticism.
The Canadian public's support of the RCMP is crucial.
Fahy says the RCMP is working on plans to fill these saddles with members next season. Filling the overall staffing gaps, that could take years. Catherine Tunney, CBC News, Ottawa.
With the rise of drugs like Ozempic, smaller appetites are shifting how Canadians shop.
Medium cappuccino with skim milk, please.
Next, why food giants are paying close attention to what you might not be eating. Plus,
my wife and 2 daughters, they are so excited to go to Canada.
A closer look at Canada's growing reliance on temporary foreign workers and parts of Ukraine that were recently battlefields are now littered with landmines.
What we're seeing in Ukraine really is on a level that we haven't seen in decades.
The human impact and the exhaustive efforts to keep people safe. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. Okay, 2 winners chomped their way to victory at this year's Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. The annual test of gluttony brings together the world's best competitive eaters. In the women's contest, Mickey Sudo ate 51 hot dogs, becoming the first woman to break the 50-dog threshold. And for the men, Patrick Bertoletti took home his first with 58 hot dogs. More and more Canadians are taking medications like Ozempic to manage diabetes and obesity. People who use those drugs often find that their appetites change, and it's starting to impact the food industry. Nisha Patel has more.
Medium cappuccino with skim milk, please.
Since she started taking Ozempic, Reagan Sather has lost her taste for treats.
My desire for food completely changed, and it also impacted how much I could eat.
That smaller appetite has changed how she shops for groceries.
Really focusing on fresh meat, fresh produce. It completely eliminated any snacking.
Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro are used to manage diabetes and obesity. In Canada, more than 1 million patients are taking these drugs. In the U.S., it may be as many as 15 million.
This is resulting in an overall decrease in food consumption, which is a change in terms of some of the diets that have come in the past.
Walmart says it's already seeing people who use weight loss drugs spend less on groceries.
If shoppers buy fewer salty snacks and sugary drinks, that could slim down profits. So big food companies are paying close attention and trying to adapt.
Coca-Cola is doubling down on high-protein milk and sparkling waters. Danone will boost investment in yogurts and nutritional drinks. Nestle plans to launch a line of portion-controlled frozen food. Dietitian Abby Langer says patients do need to watch what they eat.
What ends up happening often is that you miss out on
nutrients that are really important, like protein and fiber.
But while new packaged options may be fast and convenient,
I think there's going to be a lot of criticism of those Ozempic ready meals, just because people are going to be saying, well, ultra processed food got a lot of people where they're at now.
for people taking weight loss drugs,
it's still just a tool, and you still have to make the right decisions in order for it to work properly.
what they choose to put in their shopping cart has likely changed for good. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to break down the stories shaping our world. Landmines blanketing Ukraine's battlefields and the effort to clear them. But first, a post-pandemic explosion in temporary foreign workers, even doctors.
The demand that we're seeing for access to a family doctor currently far outweighs our supply.
But is this opportunity or exploitation?
They're not getting paid, they're getting paid less.
And are they filling gaps or papering them over? Paula Duhatchek looks behind the surging numbers to the divided opinions and experiences of employers, experts, and the workers themselves.
Major growth in companies trying to fill jobs with temporary foreign workers.
We work 12 hours a day, every night, and we only get paid straight per hour. We don't get paid overtime.
And not just in industries you'd expect, like agriculture. Everything from food service to healthcare, even doctors.
If a physician is fully qualified and able to practice, our main goal is filling our vacancies.
We've heard a lot about labor shortages in Canada.
It's no secret Canada is in the middle of a huge labor shortage.
It's the country's labor shortage.
A shortage of skilled labor.
There's been explosive growth in approvals of temporary foreign workers to fill jobs like food counter attendants, from 170 jobs approved in 2018 to last year more than 8,000. In the healthcare field, around 450 jobs approved in 2018 to last year more than 4,000. Across the board, employers were approved to hire around 240,000 temporary foreign workers in 2023, more than double what they were a half-decade earlier. But is there a better way? Danilo De Leon walks the same halls of an Edmonton University campus that he once cleaned as a temporary foreign worker. An experience from several years ago, he doesn't remember it fondly.
If not for my daughter, I wouldn't wanted to stay here, but there's no job back home.
The program has been scrutinized for its potential impact on the economy and on migrant workers themselves.
There are cases where they're not getting paid, they're getting paid less than what's in the contract. They are getting their salary being deducted.
The federal government loosened hiring restrictions coming out of the pandemic.
There was operators who were tapping into this in order to be able to revive and reopen their businesses and to be able to service the communities.
Restaurants say they try to hire locally, but sometimes they can't.
There is a challenge in some of these communities from a population density perspective and with aging populations.
But some experts push back, arguing that if businesses are struggling to find staff, they don't need a new source of workers, they need to offer better wages.
What we hear about are labor shortages. So we have to begin to recognize that this really is a self-serving narrative, mostly coming from corporate Canada.
One sector that's seen some of the fastest growth is one that's barely relied on temporary foreign workers in the past, healthcare. Most of that surge in temporary foreign workers were nurse aides, but there's also growing interest in hiring nurses and doctors.
So we began using the temporary foreign worker program about a year ago.
MediCentres Canada, which runs a network of walk-in clinics, says it's hiring more doctors from the UK, Ireland, and Australia. It says the program has been the fastest way to get them work permits, and once here, the new hires can apply for permanent residency.
The demand that we're seeing from patients for access to a family doctor currently far outweighs our supply of physicians that we have that have the capacity to take on additional patients. So the temporary foreign worker program has been really instrumental in filling some of these key vacancies that we've had.
One expert says the fact healthcare employers are turning to this program is a worrying sign.
I think this is another example of the overall healthcare workforce crisis.
We see high levels of workload, high levels of burnout, high levels of attrition. And if you can imagine that, that's a vicious circle. And we have to interrupt that in some way, shape, or form.
She says it's a stopgap and doesn't change the reasons workers are leaving.
There are a variety of other types of strategies that are much more local and focused on retaining the workforce, returning workers who have left the workforce or have left for other sectors, who have left the public sector for the private sector.
In another industry, this Brampton manufacturer is exploring a different route to address a shortage of workers, which is a growing problem for them.
People are not entering these fields at the same rate as the older workers are leaving.
IKO Industries has hired TFWs before and is now looking at another federal program. The Economic Mobility Pathways pilot matches employers with international refugees. Proponents say it offers stability for workers and businesses. Workers are given permanent residency and they can bring their families, so they're likely to stick around, providing some certainty for employers.
This program affords us an opportunity to access people with specialized skills that are not really easy to find in the current Canadian marketplace.
Cesar Franco is set to move to Canada with his family to take a job at IKO's Kamloops plant. Originally from Venezuela, he'll be putting his engineering skills to use as a plant mechanic.
I have my wife and 2 daughters. They are so excited to go to Canada. My daughters all every day tell me, "Hey Dad, when we leaving?"
Hiring refugees on a permanent basis could entice more employers in the future, especially as Ottawa moves to limit the TFW program amid a softer labor market.
I hope that this can be a program that increasingly employers can, not shift entirely, but certainly begin to test out if this can be a scalable and ongoing part of their recruitment strategies.
As the population ages, there will continue to be a need for immigration to fill labor shortages. But debate continues about how these programs should thread the needle between the needs of business and society.
So Paula, what surprised you in reporting this story?
I was struck by how tough it can be to get businesses to talk about the program. I reached out to more than a dozen who'd been approved to hire temporary foreign workers in the food service industry, and none of them agreed to do an interview with me. So it's definitely a sensitive topic, but it's also very nuanced. We did hear in the piece from one former temporary foreign worker who'd had a bad experience with the program, but I spoke with another who said for her it was great. She'd originally trained as an engineer. She came to Canada to work at an Arby's restaurant, and she says that thanks to that job, she's now a permanent resident with a job in the oil and gas industry. So again, it's a complex program, and it's hard to sum it up as any one thing, good or bad, Asha.
Okay, Paula, thank you. There are now more landmines in Ukraine than almost anywhere else in the world.
What we're seeing in Ukraine really is on a level that we haven't seen in decades.
Briar Stewart takes us to the front lines of the daunting effort to remove millions of deadly devices. That's next. Chasiv Yar, the latest town partially surrendered to the Russians. A battlefield brutalized and now likely littered with landmines.
What we're seeing in Ukraine really is on a level that we haven't seen in decades.
Both sides use them to fight, but civilians pay the price, clearing them slow and painstaking. Ukraine condemned now to decades of danger. In April, Briar Stewart explored the toll landmines are taking on Ukraine and the crippling legacy they leave behind. Here's her close look at what's now considered the most mined country on Earth.
The streets of Dohenke are barely recognizable after months of a war that still rages not far from here in eastern Ukraine. Russian missiles reach far beyond the front. But the less visible signs of the fight can be just as deadly. This is the first time Andrei Nalezhati has returned to the site where his leg was torn apart, his family shattered. In February, he came here with his father and cousin to check on their land, which they were hoping to start farming. The painful memory plays through his mind.
Ми йшли, пам'ятаю, стали на ділянці. Потім якось як в тумані. Я відкрив очі і побачив тільки вибух.
His cousin and father were much closer to the blast. It took more than an hour for the ambulance to arrive.
Я думаю, якщо б швидка скоріше приїхала, їх б вдалося врятувати. В лікарні лікарі, які мене оперували, сказали, якщо б на півгодини пізніше привезли, мене б теж не врятували.
He believes his family had triggered a tripwire, detonating a landmine. Not far away from the site of that explosion, the remnants of an anti-tank mine. A freelance journalist working for CBC News took these images. Nearby, he also found a fuse, left behind during the fight for this region and Russia's eventual retreat. Najalati's leg was fractured in the explosion. He has nerve damage and fears about the future.
Із-за травми не працюю. Що ще? Як сказати, вже не живу тим життям, яким жив раніше.
The landmines are a dangerous legacy, lurking across a wide swath of Ukraine. This country is now considered the most mined in the world. As people move back into liberated areas and try to resume their lives, an enormous risk can lie right hidden there on the surface. This is what's left of Artyom Korolev's tractor after he drove over a landmine at the end of March. Since then, he's been here, confined to a hospital bed where he's expected to stay for another 3 months.
И разворачиваюсь буквально 100 метров от дома. Было уже разминировано, все ездили, все 1000 раз по этой дороге. Вот, разворачивался на ровном месте, подорвался на противотанковой мине.
Shrapnel from the blast tore through the right side of his body, wounding his spine, hip, and leg.
Надеемся и будем ходить однозначно. Поднимемся, пройдем реабилитацию, все будет хорошо. Но кацапам никогда этого не простим.
Ukraine estimates that a third of the country could be contaminated with landmines. Many of them were laid when Russian forces occupied areas and had months to build up their defenses. It's expected the cleanup will take decades and cost tens of billions of dollars as crews move from area to area, carrying out meticulous, painstaking work. In this case, they slowly probe the blades of grass, looking for a tripwire.
That one, and then this, yeah. This one's it.
This team is part of the Halo Trust, a humanitarian organization working across Ukraine. On this day, they're near the village of Rakova, southeast of Kharkiv. It was occupied by Russian soldiers for more than 6 months. Oksana isn't from this area, nor did she ever envision herself doing this day in and day out. She used to work in finance, but her village in the Kherson region is still controlled by Russian forces.
I hope that one day my town, my peaceful town, will be deliberated, and if Hala Trust will work there, I want to take a part of it.
In this field, there are explosive devices that have been found but not yet detonated. Taking off. To help prioritize what areas to focus on, Halo uses drones to scan the landscape. They're hiring hundreds of more people to carry out the surveys on the ground.
So we're at our deminer training area right now.
Jasmine Dan gives us a virtual tour of a training ground in Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine, where 40 new employees are learning how to comb the ground looking for signs of mines. all Ukrainians with no previous experience demining.
But what we're seeing in Ukraine really is on a level that we haven't seen in decades.
Dan is from Canada, but has been working overseas in the demining field for 6 years.
The Ukraine conflict has also shown us really widespread usage of landmines, something that previously I think a lot of people thought was going out of practice within modern militaries. So unfortunately, it's shown that this is still something that's very prevalent.
To show just how difficult they can be to spot, a model of what is often called a petal or butterfly mine is obscured in the grass. At just 12 centimeters long, they appear innocuous, but can easily kill or leave someone maimed. They've been found scattered around the Ozempic area. And that's what 7-year-old Lydia Borova believes she stepped on while out mushroom picking over a year ago. As she bounds through her garden, it appears that nothing slows her down. But inside her home, she shows off her prosthetic leg.
Отак вона в чашки. Який жах, а як діти підриваються. Це дуже тяжко. І я пролежала там, ніхто не давав мені шансу на виживання.
The mines are typically scattered by air, dispersed by rockets and planes. An investigation by Human Rights Watch found evidence that Ukraine appeared to scatter thousands of rocket-fired anti-personnel landmines in and around the eastern city of Izum while it was occupied by Russia. Ukraine had a stockpile of the mines left over after the breakup of the Soviet Union. In response, Ukraine said it was studying the report. Anti-personnel mines are prohibited under the Landmine Ban Treaty, which Ukraine has signed on to, but Russia has not. And Borova and many others say that's where all of the blame should lie.
Тільки вони винні, що вони оце наробили, і знаходяться люди.
Hundreds have already been killed and injured by landmines in Ukraine, and the number will only rise as the war continues. It's a struggle for Andrei Nejalati to walk down what used to be his street.
Ні, більше не буду сюди приїжджати. Це була остання поїздка, чи противотанкова, чи противопіхотна.
Among the mangled ruins, another mine that has already exploded. He and his wife take careful steps, but it's hard not to feel nervous as she wades into the grass to pick some of these flowers. The only sign of life here amid the destruction. And the risk that remains long after the soldiers are gone.
Since Breyer's story first aired, Andre, the young man on crutches, has since had another surgery on his leg. It went well, and he's looking for work now. The Halo Trust has now managed to clear 5 million square meters of mines and other dangers. The total estimated land area in Ukraine that's contaminated, about 35 times that. Coming up, this brainy bird is at the top of the pecking order.
She is now an official Guinness World Record holder.
Yep, the world's smartest chicken. Next in our moment. This is Lacey, recently crowned the world's smartest chicken by the Guinness Book of World Records. The brilliant bird from Gabriola Island in BC correctly identified 6 objects in just 60 seconds to earn the title. So tonight, the extraordinary chicken makes our moment.
This is Lacey. On April the 4th, I did a Guinness World Record attempt. Lacey was the one that got the most tricks in 1 minute, so she is now an official Guinness World Record holder. At first I thought, well, maybe they're not very smart. You know, they're chickens, but they're smart, a lot smarter than people think. They can do fun things like jump through a hoop or pull a string to ring a bell. They know where they are, they know what they're doing, they know what they want. I can remember being, you know, a little kid like 7 or 8 years old and sitting out in our family chicken coop and staring at the chickens. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to try to interact with the chickens as if they're people. Come on, Lacey, let's go. Come on. No, I'm not going to let them drive my car, you know, but try to treat them with respect and like listen to what they're saying. They had all kinds of interesting personality quirks. Chickens are like their own people. So it's been really positive. It's been a lot of fun.
Looks like a lot of fun. Emily had been training Lacey for over a year. She has 6 hens total, so no word on whether she's ruffled the other hen's feathers over this big achievement, Lacey that is. And Emily is actually set to launch a YouTube channel to share what she's learned about chicken training. And I'm sure Lacey will make some cameo appearances. For everyone here at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Asha Tomlinson. Take care.